Well, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
This is Drew Bombard, the lab manager of Brooklyn Brewery. My name's Miro Bellini. I'm the ambassador of Good Beer Week, and we're here to talk about a pretty amazing event, the Barrel Barons Masterclass. I don't believe there's anything like it, and but you know, that's just me saying that. We're going to drill down through a few details of the event and get to know Drew, because I think we're all doing something very special today. Drew, how long have you been working here at Brooklyn Brewery?
2 years now.
Yeah?
I started in May of 2014, so my 2-year anniversary will be May 12th.
And what do you love about working at Brooklyn Brewery?
I love being in New York. I love being in Brooklyn. I love working for Garrett Oliver. Garrett's amazing. He's a genius. Doing some really fun, exciting beers. A lot of interesting barrel-aged beers. Starting to delve into some lactobacillus-oriented beers, and then also just doing classic styles of beer. From IPAs to saisons to stouts and porters.
Now you mentioned the barrels and the lactobacillus there. You got a bit of a specialty for that, right?
Right, yeah. I worked at New Belgium for 4 years before coming here. They do a lot of barrel-aged sour beers and also some lactobacillus stainless sour beers as well. And I worked alongside some other microbiologists there developing that souring program and creating some fun lactobacillus beers.
Yeah, wow. It's funny. They've been saying a little while now that sour is the new bitter.
Right.
But it seems to be a much more complex topic to make happen.
It's definitely different. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot more variables, and a lot more can go wrong, I would say, in the production of sour beers than making IPAs.
But you've got a specific education for this, right?
Right. Yeah. Not saying you have to have one, but yeah, it definitely helps.
Yeah. What?
Studied microbiology at Colorado State University, and worked in a micro lab for 4 years there, and have also done setting up the microbiology program here as well. So.
Yeah, right. That's a big responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Sure. Yeah.
Nice. What kicked it off for you? Like, how did you get into good beer?
I would say when I studied abroad in the Czech Republic in 2008. I lived in Prague, and they do their style of beer, Pilsner, exceptionally well. And I always go back to Pilsners as like the beer that kicked it off for me.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. Like a well done, beautiful Pilsner beer is like my favorite style of beer, I would say.
That's a beautiful thing to hear.
Yeah.
What do you love about the industry?
The collaboration is amazing. Like, I don't think there are too many industries with the level of cooperation and collaboration that craft brewing has. It's always about innovating something new. People, the beer drinkers, want new styles, new flavors. They're constantly pushing us to produce something exciting, and so it keeps it exciting for them, and it keeps it exciting for us, and you can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah, there's not too many other drinks that have that pursuit of the new so deeply ingrained.
Totally. Beer is completely malleable. You can change it up, in so many different ways.
Yeah, cool. I've just never thought it like as you put it just then. It just put a whole new idea in my mind.
All right.
Australia. Have you been to Australia before?
Never been.
Yeah, right. What are you looking forward to? What are you expecting?
I've good expectations. I've heard nothing but good things about Australia. Sounds like most all of you are pretty nice, cool people, from what I've heard.
Yeah, we try.
Yeah. I'm excited to go check out the beaches and just see what this country has to offer.
Oh yeah, you're a surfer.
Yep.
Yeah. How is it being a surfer that lives in New York?
It's fun, actually. It's a good way to escape the city and just get out to nature and just have fun.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, the program, the Good Beer Week program, you've had a little look?
Yeah, definitely. I went on the website, checked it out. It's massive, and it looks like there's just like endless fun events. So, very excited.
Yeah, I've been with it now for, this is our sixth program,
right. Yeah.
and it still intimidates me.
Yeah, in a good way.
Yeah, well,
in a real way.
Yeah, in a real way. Yeah. there's quite a few Brooklyn events over the week.
Right. Yep.
We're going to talk more deeply about a couple, but is there anything in particular you're looking forward to?
Le Bon Ton, definitely.
Yeah.
All of the delicious food I anticipate I'll get to eat. I'm just excited to get out there and meet some folks and talk about what we do at Brooklyn.
Yeah, cool. Le Bon Ton will be a very special event. They're quite respected for their smoke, like slow and low.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of your penchant for sour beers and these big flavors of yours are going to cut through nicely with all those rich meats.
Yep. Totally, and the fatty, rich meats and the acid will cut right through those.
Yeah. It's almost like setting a stage for you.
Absolutely, they are.
Yeah, cool. Is there anything else or like that comes front of mind?
I want to see some shows, definitely. Yeah, I want to see some music and just explore.
Yeah,
It's gonna be good.
Cool. Melbourne's a beautiful city to explore.
I can't wait.
But the reason why we're talking today is about this Barrel Barons Masterclass.
Right.
I'm going to sort of go into the details a little bit of it here. I think some of these elements, I'm pretty sure have never happened before.
It sounds like it.
The whole thing. So we've got Brooklyn Brewery. It's maybe 24 hours flight. Maybe the beer that's coming over is about 4 weeks in refrigerated containers. That's a ways to go.
It's a long haul.
But there's other elements to this party too, waiting for Brooklyn Brewery. So the host will be Boat Rocker of the famed Ramjet. Boat Rocker Brewery, one of Australia's sort of biggest barrel aging programs, a master of sours and whiskies and a whiskey barrel aging and wine barrel aging. So he'll be our host, but the host barrel is being provided by Starwood. Now Starwood are real up and comers in Australian spirits. Their whiskies just constantly win awards, and they're very New World distillery. They're very New World in their approach, and what you were talking about there about collaborative efforts.
Absolutely.
That's a big part of, I suppose, who they are.
Okay.
Is working with other parties and interested parties. In fact, they're doing a couple of other special things with Boat Rocker. They already aged their Imperial Stout, the Ramjet, in Starwood whiskey barrels.
Okay.
Now, and then the final players coming from New Zealand, quite a star of Australasia, is the 8 Wide Brewery. 8 Wide, an uncountable amount of gold medals, a very inspirational, vivacious approach to recipes.
Right.
He's obviously got like a history with nailing the classic styles, but the beers from 8 Wide are, everything you talked about that was beautiful about the beer industry, 8 Wide brings to the table.
Perfect.
So we've got those 4 parties. We've got Brooklyn Brewery coming all the way over to Boat Rocker, and so is 8 Wide, and then and New World Distillery Starwood. We're going to have one of their barrels, and we're going to blend beer into those barrels in front of people that are there from 9 to 5.
Yeah.
They'll watch you blend and see the choices you make. They'll taste some of your beers, and then we'll all have lunch together, and we'll make a one-off beer. Now, that's a mouthful to say.
That's a lot.
As one of this party, obviously it must be intimidating, but but what are you trying to bring to the table here?
I mean, a little bit of that collaborative spirit.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of it. I'm just excited to meet everybody. I'm excited to try the other beers. Very excited to see how they work together. As you said, this has really never been done before, and for the beer to spend so much time just in transit getting here, it's going to be really special once it arrives and once we finally get to marry these beers together and see how they play, especially with the barrel provided by this distillery as well. So I'm excited to see what comes of it, and the idea that we have for the beer is really pretty awesome, and it's coming together in a really fun way. So
yeah, it's cool.
good, yeah.
And do you have some like hard lines as like someone who's collaborating with someone? Do you have like certain principles that you bring to the table, like I'll never do this, or I always make sure to do that?
I think we always want to make sure that we do right by the beer, the liquid itself, but in terms of what direction it could go, I don't really like to put any limits on that. But obviously, we got to just use best practice when making the beer, and so that we can make the best beer possible.
Yeah,
technically
cool.
speaking.
So we've got these parties together. I imagine all having a similar goal. It's about what the fizz in the glass is going to taste like.
Yeah.
So how's that process going? Like, what's happening right now?
Well, right now, since we're so far away, we've just been emailing back and forth. But the emails have been, just loaded full of excitement and a lot of good ideas so far. Just been kind of thrown back. One person will have one idea, and then we'll take it and run with it in another direction, and it just kind of snowballing.
Without giving away the final result, because I'm sure that might change between now and the event.
Sure.
Where's the source of inspiration coming from?
Well, we have sour beer, and we have whiskey barrels.
Yeah.
And we all have a common favorite drink called a whiskey sour.
Yeah.
And so I think we're all drawing on inspiration from those elements, and I guess we'll kind of see where it goes from there.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
The whiskey sour is a beautiful style.
Yeah, absolutely.
A beautiful kind of cocktail. Cool. And so you've had some of these beers.
Right.
In fact, this morning we've already had, it's 9 a.m., and we've already had a little bit of the Hippie Berliner and the Brambic. What do you think about these beers? What strikes you?
They're great. The Hippie Berliner has got a nice, really lush hop aroma to it, and the acidity kind of comes in towards the end. It's just bright. It's very citrusy, but there's kind of a velvety, almost rose-like geraniol aroma to it that I really like. The beer drink's amazing. It's not too sour. It's very sessionable, but the acidity is right there. It's definitely right on your palate. And the body is not too thin. It's a absolutely well done Berliner Weiss. I'm extremely impressed, a little jealous. And the Brambic is also a beautiful beer. It reminds me of drinking straight from a fooder, which is a vessel they use to age in sour beer.
Yeah.
We got it right here. It's beautiful. Acidity is right up front, very puckering, but it's clean. There's really no offensive aromas. It's clearly taken its time and gone through all the stages it needs to go through in order to make a nice beer. And that's really it. That takes a lot of patience.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're dealing with some real craftsmen, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Impressed.
Beautiful. All right, well, I think we've got all the right elements together to make something beautiful. And, the end beer aside, I know that's the premium. That's the thing we're aiming for.
Yeah.
For me, I'm really excited watching this come together, because again, I don't think there's ever been a Trans-Pacific sour blend across 3 countries like this, and it's going to be a beautiful thing to watch. On the day, we're going to have on the blending. We'll have lunch. We're going to have a chef who is connected with Key up in Sydney and Merricote in Melbourne. And so there'll be a long lunch there as well with all sorts of wonderful beers. And the brewers will get up and talk about their specialty beers. You're going to be bringing along a framboise of yours, like a pet project. Can you tell us a little bit about that beer?
Sure. Yeah, this beer, the base for this beer is a lactobacillus soured beer that we do in stainless tanks. So we make that beer. It's a very palatable, easy drinking, sessionable sour beer. We then have put it into second use Black Ops barrels. So some people might be familiar with our Black Ops. It's a beer that does not exist.
Yeah, I've
never heard of it. Yeah. But so it ages in those whiskey barrels. They're Woodford Reserve barrels. It ages in there for several months on whole raspberries. And over the course of those months, the beer really takes on not only the bright pink-red color, but also a nice, beautiful raspberry flavor and aroma. So we then will rack off those barrels off the fruit and bottle re-ferment this beer with champagne yeast as well as Brettanomyces lambicus. which will develop over time, and these bottles should be nice and beautiful by now. So
Beautiful.
well
Nice.
developed, yeah.
Nice. We're going to be opening up a mango beer.
Yep.
Whose base is your Bel Air Sour.
Yeah, right.
What do you expect? Like, what are you excited about that beer?
I'm excited I have had only very little of that beer. It's pretty hard to get your hands on. But the Bel Air itself really kicks off a lot of mango aromas. So we naturally wanted to age that beer on whole mangoes. I'm very excited to see how those play together, especially with the dish. It's a really amazing beer. So very excited.
Cool. Well, that's this part of the story done. This is where we're going to kick off. The beer's on the water. It's on its way to Australia right now. The barrels are ready. The chef's prepping. The menu's coming together, and the inspiration for that blend is still in the works. All I can say is we're looking forward to Good Beer Week.
Yeah.
And cheers.
Cheers.